From child brides to chain makers, from teen moms to trailblazers, from silence after rape to speeches that shake nations, from forgotten names to forces of history. She rolls beyond trauma, past mistakes, and everything meant to break her. This is the Beyond Her Odds Show. Real stories that inspire you to rise, to heal, to lead. Because if she did, so can you.
I'm your host, Raquel Kashan Daniel. And like I always say, you can call me RKD for short, just in case my name is a mouthful. So I have my guest here today. We call her the Billions. Oh my God! She has other names that we call her and all that. I would reveal that as we go on. Maybe when she says something, I'll not tell you what the nickname is, but this one is the one we call her. Yeah. And I always say, we're going to spend the billions. And that always makes her laugh. So thank you so much for coming on the show. We've had a lot of people come on the show. This is the 6th episode.
Okay, so I'm here to tell my story. So the story all started when I was age 10. Okay. Yeah, so I lost my mom at the age of 10, and that was really a very defining moment for me. So having my father being, so having my father have, he was taking care of 5 kids. Mm-hmm. You know, it was a lot for him to handle. Why? Because he was into ministry. So he had so much to do. He was such a passionate man, a man with vision. So he got so busy with a lot of activities that has to do with his own values, with his own life, you know. Mm. So he provided everything we needed as our father. You know, he was there for us materially. We never lacked anything. Yeah. But you know, there's a difference between provision and presence. So my dad provided everything, but unfortunately he was not available because he was away. You know, so there was a gap. And I needed that validation. I needed to be heard, but he was not there for me to speak to. You know, that's having my mom left at the age of 10. That was like, you know, the formative life of a child. Yeah. But I never saw that picture of a father and mother, the picture of a father and mother having like how to see how the picture of a father and mother was never there for me, you know. So it was a concern. So I got involved, like I needed to be heard, I needed to talk to someone, and unfortunately I met someone.
Of course. Yeah. You know, so before you tell us about this person, I really would like to hear this from because we're here. Mm-hmm. You know, tell us about yourself, like you. How were you? You know, I've heard people come and just say, well, I was very brilliant, I was smart. I was saying like, oh yeah, I love it. You know, and then something happened and things changed. Did that happen to you? Yes,
it did happen to me because while I was preparing for this show, I kind of like I started thinking back. I know before I was 10, my mom introduced me to business. I was like, okay. So, you know, so you're introducing me to start selling some things in church because then I was a church girl, PK, you know. So yes. Yeah, so introduced me to business, started doing a lot of things for myself. And I was that child that was very intelligent. I took up leadership responsibility very early. Yeah, because my dad made everything very easy for us to do. So I was very intelligent. I was a forward-thinking child. I was someone that needed to achieve a lot of things and all of that. So I had so much to offer, but it was misdirected. Why? Because I felt like I didn't get that validation which every child actually needs to get. You know, no, but when I get to like do things or achieve things, my dad was not there to tell me how brilliant I was. He was not there to just, you know, give me thumbs up and all of that. So I just felt like I felt a bit withdrawn, in as much as I was a happy child. In as much as I was always smiling, people saw that everything was going on well with me because I had very good grades in school. But even at that, I knew there was just this vacuum that I needed to be heard, you know. So, but it was not showing, it was not physically seen. Yeah. But emotionally, I knew something was missing. And a lot of times, we may not know that you need certain things until you meet another thing. Mm. You know, I felt very comfortable in my space. I felt like I had everything all covered. I felt like, okay, the love I experienced from home was the best of love and everything. But until I met somebody else, and I knew that I actually had craving for something that wasn't there. So sometimes you may have it all covered. You might think you have everything that you need, but until you meet someone else, until you find yourself in a space where you're trying to, you see something different from what you're used to. So that was actually how it began.
You can see. And so if you're following the show, you would have seen a pattern. There's been a pattern here, and it's great. Most people say, oh, it started when I was age 5. It started when I was age 8. I'm hearing age 10. I'm hearing, our last guest went into secondary school at age 8. She wasn't even 9 yet. Very naive in secondary school. You can imagine naivety and older people. And that's how she was pulled into substance abuse. And so you would never know, what that formative years, what it would do to a child if it's neglected. You never know until the child becomes an adult, or later in life when the child is going through their teenage years, and then you're wondering, oh my God, is this what has happened to this child because of what we've done? So I'm talking now to parents before we go to phase 2 of our question, to just say, if you're a parent, like I always say, you can do better. There's so much that you can do. You can provide all that your children need materially, but your children need your presence more than they need your presence.
That's true.
So you can give them all the presents, all the gifts and everything you can, but your presence, your physical presence is most important to them. And now we're looking at it from a different angle, like being in someone like education space. We're saying that it's beyond the present. We're looking at presence, but you are present in the presence. It's not quite that. So intentionally spending that time when you're with them, not pressing your phone and just being there, but they are present with them and they have your attention. So it won't come to a place where your child is saying, I'm talking to you and you're having your phone. I can't talk to you. So I know there was not that at the time, but just bringing it back into the society that we have now. So I kind of understand where you're coming from. So tell us now, what happened? Something led you to what we posted on social media: financial abuse, emotional abuse. You just moved from this very brilliant child, but then you lost your mom. It affected you. Then your dad was a fantastic man, and all that, doing ministry, but he wasn't available physically all the time because he has to do ministry work. He has to do the work that God has placed in his hands. And then there was a vacuum for you. Then you met someone. So who is this person and what happened?
Okay, so thank you so much. So when I met my friend, so I met my friend, and he was that safe travel, He was there to listen to me. He gave me everything, all the emotional support I needed from my father. That was there, but not there.
And what age was that?
So I think that was like age 17. Yeah, so I met my friend, and we got talking, and he was there to listen to me. So whenever I had a question to ask, I go to him, we talk about a lot of things. So he was just go to a person that I always met. So he kind of he shaped me to his own values. So don't forget, I was not talking to anyone. Or just withdraw. Right, because my dad was not present. So I met someone that was talking to me and that actually had his own abuse. Right, so he was coming from an abusive home as well. Yeah, that's another story. Yeah, but he kind of shaped me to his own truth. So he molded his truth to me, not the truth. Right. So he told me, so like he told me how to dress, he told me how to speak, he told me not to have friends, So he kind of like took everybody from me. So he was just that friend I had. So, so emotional abuse kind of starts where, you meet someone and your voice becomes silent. So my voice was really silent. So he was my voice. So everything I needed to communicate, I had to speak through him. And I saw it as the right thing because that was the picture I had about love. Don't forget, I didn't see my mom, my parents growing up. I didn't see that picture of how a father should treat a mother or how a mother should relate to a father. So meeting him was that picture I had about love. And he taught me a lot of things. So from there, he withdrew a lot of things from me, I don't talk to people. I don't talk to male friends. It was everything I got, right? So, and I saw it as the right thing. To the extent, it was so bad that I started teaching other girls what he was teaching. So when I go to his space and I see that a girl can speak up, because even at that time I couldn't speak up. I couldn't even ask questions. Everything he tells me was the right thing to do. So like he was in quote, he was Jesus to me. So when he tells me anything, I don't think it through.
You don't question.
I don't question it. I just go ahead. So even at the time whereby I think I go working at the time, he told me that, okay, you know what? sometimes when I think about this story, I'll be like, oh, like, Debbie, so you went through all of this. And what the importance of it is that it's just about the story, what we've learned from all of these things, So to the extent that he never told me how beautiful I am. So
You are beautiful.
thank you. I know that. Thank you so much. So he never told me how beautiful I was. He never told me. So whenever I achieve anything, he never saw it as right. He always talked down on me. So I saw myself as that child that had low self-esteem. So I didn't know I was beautiful until 2019.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yes, for like how many years, So I don't talk to people, I can't even make another call. So he got so much that from emotional abuse, he started abusing me physically.
And this physical abuse started when you got into university?
Yeah, so when I got into the university, right? So I felt okay, that was the norm. So I got to school, I didn't even socialize with anyone. I was just by myself. So to the extent that I even had to wear a ring on my wedding finger.
Oh, nice ring.
Yes, because he didn't give it to me, I gave it to myself because, he has actually formed the way I think.
Yeah.
So everything he was telling me, I saw it as that is the right picture. So I never questioned anything. To the extent that he even mentioned and told me, what, since we are friends, we are already married, so we actually started dating. And he was like, what, the only thing, we are married already. So I started acting as a submissive wife.
Oh my God.
To get even when I was not married, But he was like, and I did not because he kind of took me from everyone.
Yeah.
He took me from everyone, even to my siblings. I didn't talk to anyone. He was everything. But the good thing is that while all of these things were going on, people came and they were asking me questions. Do you think this thing is okay? And but I told them, I know this is the best place to be. Why? Because that was all that I saw at that time.
And that's true. So parents can say, you can do better. And it's the funny thing is that a lot of parents don't even know that not being present or not being there for their children can cause damage. Because look at you now, now in university with this person, now isolated, where you're supposed to be socializing with a lot of people, you're isolated. I know when I was in university way back, there's so many people that I used to have this forum where I do girl talk with university girls and even girls in secondary school. And when the university girls that come around and I'm talking to them, I'm saying things like, oh, you can't live with a man. They're like, how? Why not? It's like I'm saying strange things.
Like a no.
Like it's normal to do it. So you can't stay in the same house with him. They're like, how? If we are sharing the same hostel, and the parents don't know that they're actually living with another man in the fellow student off campus. So it felt like it was normal. These parents had no clue what their children were doing. But there are those that came from families where they were actually taught the right thing to do and they did better. So in university, people are all over the place doing all sorts of things. And here you were, you're supposed to be socializing, having fun, going to parties. I know you're a PK, but at least even just being out there, but you were not because of not an adult person. A fellow, and how old was he? Was he so older than you?
2 years older than me.
You were your age mate, basically, and all. And he had a voice. And I think that I want to ask a question. Do you think that it's because he came from a family where he was affirmed and he was very bold to do that? Because it takes someone that's very, very daring, to tell another human being to do this and he will be doing it.
Yeah, so he came from a family that he was really affirmed. So his parents believed so much in him. So he I think that was one of the things that kind of attracted me to him. He was such a confident young man. So he spoke with all confidence and I'm like, wow, I've not seen this before. But something that he usually told me, he was like, babe, I like the pattern with which my parents raised me. But there's a particular pattern I don't think I want to share or I want to take from my parents when I get married. Is how they live maritally. But he did not know that those things that he saw, the pictures of how he saw his dad treat his mom. So let me just give an example. So to his dad, women are slaves, right? So if his mom wants to get anything from his dad, his mom will ask him, the son, to communicate with his dad.
Wow.
Do you get? Yeah. So she didn't have a voice. So he saw that picture growing up. He didn't like the picture, but he didn't know that because what we see and what we hear makes us. So he didn't know that having stayed with his parents for that long a time, those attitude and everything, those values, everything was already showing in his life. But he kept saying, I wouldn't want to do what my dad did to me.
But it's exactly what he was doing.
He was already doing that. So, so he had that confidence growing up and all of that. But so I think he was not from a very good home as well. But so he had issues, but
They affirmed him.
they affirmed him.
Oh
So
my God.
that's what gave him that confidence to do what he needed to. And I think another thing again that kind of drew me to that family was the fact that his parents believed so much in him. So even when we became friends, because the friendship was really pure. We communicated like it was very pure we didn't have any kind of intimacy with ourselves. It was very pure. Why? Because he had that knowledge as well that he wanted to do relationship the God way. Yeah, because he was from a Christian family as well. So he wanted to do that. So his parents, so when we became friends, he introduced me to his parents as his friend. So it was very clear. And his parents made us understand that, both of we are friends. So they had that belief and that trust in us. So they could leave us together. Why? Because they trusted us that, we know what to do that was right. Because of the right values that they gave. But that other part of having your mom, your dad seeing women as slaves
Was there.
So he didn't know how to help himself and all of that. So he kind of transferred it to the next person he met. So that's what happens when you have issues going on and you don't deal with them very well. Subconsciously, you see yourself like treating people the way you were treated.
Definitely.
Husband to be says anything, so you just say, okay, baby, and that's fine. So even when he does things that are wrong, I never for 12 years, we're friends for about 12 years. So I never for 12 years to ask him questions, why did you do this? So I started working, and for the first time, I think I was kind of bold to ask him. So I think he wanted me to quit my job. Yeah, because he felt like he wanted me to quit my job because he noticed that when I was working, my boss saw a lot of potential in me, and so my boss was that man. I think I would like to mention his name. So I want to say thank you, Mr. Stephen Ogbonoju, for Vivian Care. So he was that person that he saw beyond me, so, and he noticed I was always acting very naive, but he would tell me, what, there's a lot. So when I do something in the office, you're like, nobody has ever done this excellent. You're so creative, you're so intelligent. I'm like, oh, really? So an incident came when he told me to go get a copper because I was human resource manager for the organization at that time. And he was like, okay, Debbie, go get a copper. I was like, okay, so what do you want? What kind of copper? What kind of employee do you want? And he was like, get someone like you. I was like me, how do you mean? I was like, someone like you. So for the first time, I felt like, wow. So I was good enough for my boss to tell me to get someone like me. So I think that's kind of boosted my confidence. So when my boyfriend then told me to quit my job, so I was like, why should I quit my job? And I was like, God asking him why. So the next thing he came and just slapped me. Yeah. So he was, and then I just like, and when he does that, I used to say, I love you, baby. Because
I can imagine. You were groomed. That's what it was.
He groomed me.
Oh my God.
He groomed me to fit him.
Yeah.
Not the what it should be. So, but he just patterned my life to just fit him. So he just beats me. So maybe sometimes when I come and I look all beautiful, tell me, go and wash your face. I do my nails, I do all of those things. So anytime I ask you a question, why should I do this? Why am I not doing this?
You get beaten for it.
Yeah, I get beaten for it. So no. To just follow like that, and then because he made me, so I saw it as the right place. I never spoke to anyone. And even when he does that, I'm like, okay, I'm not sure I'm in the right place. But because now I've started hearing, so now I met my boss that we started having trainings in the office. He started speaking more positive words about me. So I knew that I needed more. Yeah. So when you get to the point as a child or as a girl, I know you start feeling like I'm too much for this, I have so much to offer. So that confidence just came. And that's where it all started, started beating me, doing a lot of things to me that I felt. Even there was one time that, oh God. So there was one time that he It was so bad. It was really, really bad that, when his friends met him, they were like, why are you treating her like this? But, and he would tell me, run away. But I said, no, I won't run away. He's treating me right. That is the best way to treat her.
Even after you collected your cat.
Yeah. It's like good so he to the extent that we actually had the joint account.
No, no, we're there.
We had a joint account, so his phone number then was my alert number. So he tells me how to spend my money. I know then I'm like, okay, so we see where, So I surrendered everything to him. But to the extent that he makes statements to me like, if you get richer than me, because I was that industrious girl. I had so much to offer, So I knew that I was going to be delirious. Do you understand? That's so I knew I was going to have so much to be able to reach out to people, because I kind of always have hearts to help people. I like helping people raise their voices, to just meet people's needs. So I knew I needed that.
It was there.
It was there. So he made statements like, if you get richer than me, I will divorce you.
And you are not yet married.
Yes, we're not married. Okay. And I'm like, baby, don't worry. I won't get richer than you. You'll be the rich man and all of that. So that was how it all started.
And then you got physically abused over and over again. We started from emotional abuse to physical and then financial abuse, because it's very difficult to see all three in one, really. There are maybe we've not seen them on the show yet, but seeing all three in one, where someone that doesn't want me talks you down but takes your money as theirs and then makes you beg them for money to give them, give you money to take care of yourself, and then still physically abuse you, it's a lot of it. But also there's that isolation because you've not had the guts to tell your family about it.
My mentors and my bosses and all of those people reading those, I noticed that I stopped communicating with him. Because then in the past, I told you one part of the story that, let me just say something very funny. But somehow inside of me, I knew this is not the right thing. This is not how it should be treated. Despite the fact that I didn't see any picture of how a mother or how love is to a mother and to a father, but because of there's something prayer does. My parents were praying parents, right? So I knew inside of me, I knew I was in the wrong place.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do anything about it.
It was grooming.
Yes, I couldn't really do anything about it. So after all of that, and so sometimes when I do pray, I take a fast and I'm praying, oh God, if he's not my husband, or show to me, I was that deep. I'll be on fasting and I'll just say some things then innocently.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, anybody that calls me to tell me my treasure, where have you been? He's my husband,
And then he will call you.
And I'll just write it down. And the next call I get after I say amen, after my 3 days prayer, is his call. And he just calls me and tells me that exact word I just wrote in my book. So I'm like, okay, yeah, he's the one. Then I go back again. But when I had this encounter, I met these mentors that, don't forget, I became bold. So I started talking. So I think the healing process started when I started talking.
Yes.
For about 11, 10 years, I was silent. I didn't say anything to anyone. I didn't talk to spirits. I didn't talk to my parents. But I think when I started working, and my boss started talking to me, and I saw that I needed more. So I opened up and I started speaking. Though it was not easy to get out of it, but I was speaking, I was just saying what I was going through, and they were just telling me all of those things I needed to do. So I cut off completely from him. I don't know where the boldness came from. So because before, if I hear his voice, oh my God, any decision I've made, I'll just go back on it. But this time I told myself the strength just came, because what? I started feeding myself with the right words, the right information of who I am. I should do more than I'm doing right now. And I disconnected completely from him. I was not hearing anything from him, so that was where the healing started from. And after that, for a year, we didn't have any communication. And I said, it's like something just left. And I'm like, wow, where did this all begin? All of that. So that was just about it. That's
Oh my God. So if you're listening to the show, you can hear clearly, how the leaders is telling us that, healing is important. Because what will happen is that if you didn't heal from all that this person has done for you, all the scars, the physical harm that person has done to you, the emotional abuse, the financial abuse, were you not able to save any money, for many years. I can't even go into those details, but just imagine how somebody takes everything that you have, and then one day you run into someone who now begins to validate you and tell you, things that you actually have in it, you didn't know that you have. It begins to tell you things about yourself. And then now you're bolder, he will come for you. When you come blazing, after, but then she was bold enough, you're bold enough. So if you're listening to us, you're watching us, we want to say there's more that you can do. You can talk to someone. That's the first thing. Find someone who is like a mentor, like the Billions found, that you can talk to and open up. It might not be easy. It might have been easier for her because her mom started working on her when before she passed. Already telling her things about being industrious, how to start a business and all that. But it helped her. It was there. Then even her dad, yes, and even your dad being a very focused person on his work, which really something to you. Like seeing that I want someone that is actually focused on his work, and all that. So all that was there. So find someone that you can talk to, find someone that you can open up to, even if it's a friend, not a mentor. You can start with a friend and begin to talk about it. And the second step is to cut off completely. I think that we've said that so much on this show. Every single person that's come here has said whatever it is that they were entangled with, even if it's substance abuse, whatever it is, or the abuser, they've cut off from that person before they were able to before they found healing.
That's true.
And for each one of them that have sat on this seat where we're sitting has told us that they found someone to talk to. They found someone to share with. In fact, so for some of them, their friends have been the one trying to get them to, talk to a mentor and then begin to forgive, which is like the third step. Because if you hold this person in resentment, you're going to be an angry person. Because what will happen is that you take that into other relationships.
That's true.
By the time you start to date people, it's breakup upon breakup because you're carrying baggage and everyone feels like that person because you haven't forgiven them. So you can let go, If you're just tuning in, my name is Raquel Kushanvanya, and like I always say, you can call me RKD. And I've been here with the Billions. I can't go on her story because it's been a lot to unpack. But if you missed the show, you're just tuning in, you can listen to the last part of the show. So don't touch that dial. She's about to tell us how she is using her story and things that have happened to her to help other people live intentionally. And she's not just doing it to girls. I know that the focus of our show is girls, but also she's focusing on both men and women, especially the young ones. And I was a part of the first edition of the show, and I'll say it was amazing. So I want you to tell us this program you're doing to support. What are you doing to help them?
Because what I'm doing is so due to what I've gone through, I've discovered that everything in life starts with you being very intentional. Your daily habits would sum up what you become in life. Right? So we have this summit that we call the Intentional Living Summit, which helps young girls and young people to live intentionally, to make the right choices. Because the choice you make now will determine how your future will be. So we teach them how to make the right choices, we teach them about personal development, we teach them about mindset shift. Because everything in life starts with what you think, with your mind. So if you can actually talk you through and just unlearn certain things you've learned in your mind, you can take it to where you want to live. So that's what the show is. It's centered on mindset shifts, on emotional intelligence, on leadership and lots of things. We're just trying to see how to help young people to make intentional decisions. Because what brought me to where I am, due to my story, was because of certain decisions that I made. Yeah. So now we are just helping people to make intentional decisions, make them see that, you know what, we're going to help you by coaching you. Yeah, so I do coaching programs for people as well. I do training programs for people to help them to help them to live that purposeful life. And one emphasis that we make is that it's about your daily habits, because what you do daily matters. You can't say, you know what, I want to be the first richest woman in the world, but you don't do anything about it daily. No, your daily habits comes together to to help you to get right. So we just teach people how to be more disciplined in their daily habits. So that's all we're doing.
What about those who who have gone through something similar that you've gone through and have used, and it in a different capacity, different ways that it financial abuse, physical abuse, or however, but you can connect with them. How do you?
So I believe that every story that everyone has, there's a purpose in that story. So naturally, I get attracted to people that have been abused more with what you are. So I just get to see myself talking to someone, having a conversation. And because I've been in that space before, I can quickly tell when I see an emotionally abused person. So when I get to see that, the first thing is I just make you my friend. I make you my friend, and I start talking to you, and that's why people started calling me a catalyst, because you know what, I would not allow you to go through that same process. I will try my best to be that person that would want to speed up everything, every potential that is in you. Right? Because when you expose people to see their strength, their weaknesses diminishes, right? So when I see you, I just first want to like, no, this person has gone through this thing. So I start validating you. I start telling you things that you need to hear. They don't know, but naturally, that's just the therapy. I start talking to you, and I start seeing their faces like, oh wow, I don't know what I'm doing. But because I've gone through that process before,
Yes.
I can smell it from a far distance.
Yeah.
And when I see it, that's why God has graced us with this intentional living song to just help people to live during intention. So the first thing that will get them into our community, we have a one-on-one conversation with them. We introduce them to processes to get them to materials that we can read that can help them. And also we are in a community where we keep validating ourselves.
Yeah.
This is who you are. This is what you can do. And I try to like find what are those giftings, those special gifting that you have, that God has placed inside of you. Because every human that God created it with a special ability. A special ability. And I noticed that when you start recognizing those special abilities in those girls, you start telling them how what they do means a lot to you. You just notice something just as well, inside of them, and just even just what I love it. So that's what
Just like your boss did to you. I think that what you're just doing is replicating what has been done to you, how someone has given into you, and you're giving back to the person. And I like that you gave him a shout out earlier, and so thank you so much for doing that. And then so if I'm going into the last part of the show. So if you meet a girl now, what do you want to tell a girl who is going through this abuse, either a financial abuse? I'm going to hold the question there and just give you a bit of context. I've watched a video online where a woman said she gets paid her salary and she gives everything to her husband, and the man now pays her from the salary. And then people were saying you're being emotionally and financially abused, and she didn't see it as a financial abuse, and she was sure, and she kept commenting and saying she was not until people left chat and left silent for something, But that's the one that was sure that she was not financially abused. But she said that that's the pattern in the man's family she married into. Every wife gives money back to their husbands when they get paid, and the husband pays them from that money. And so if you meet someone like that right now, what do you tell the person? Someone who is being in this kind of situation, who is being financially abused, who is sharing joint account and they're not married, and all that. And I don't want to ask you how you got over joint account, but I know you lost a lot of money and stuff, but what would you do to this person?
So
Because she might just be listening to us.
yeah, so it's the first thing I would want to tell any girl or anyone that is listening for someone starts. Yeah, it's actually a lot, right? But
Yeah.
I would say that you have all it takes to be who you should be. You don't need any external validation. In quotes. You don't need anyone to validate you. Everything that you need to be that super influential girl, you have it in the inside of it. All you just need to do is just always to just be around the space of people that tell you things that are positive. Yes, just always be in that community, in that company of people that tell you things that are positive about you. But always know that, you know what, you are seen, you are being heard. Despite the fact that you are going through, because I know there are certain girls that are listening right now that are going through this stage. Don't feel so bad about yourself. Don't feel like, wow, how did I get here? The good thing is that you're here. The good thing is that the good news is that you are listening to this show at this time.
Yeah.
So this is your time. I was in my relationship for 12 good years. I don't feel bad about it because I believe that every story
Has a purpose.
has its purpose in it. So I don't feel bad about it. So don't feel bad. No matter what you've gone through, no matter what you lost. We're hearing this show now, this is your morning. Wake up. Look for someone to talk to. And validate yourself by yourself. Tell yourself you have all it takes to be who you should be.
Thank you so much. This has been a wholesome conversation. You agree with me. And like I say every week, you can see that there's no point. And I'm seeing that phones are ringing. We can't take the calls, and we're sorry. We would love to do that. There's no time. These stories just keep going on and on. If you want to send us a message, please go to our Instagram page, Beyond Her Odds, at Beyond Her Odds, and send us a DM. We always get messages, and we've replied to so many messages already. Thank you for trusting us with your questions and your stories. And then if you have any direct message for the Beyonds, just put it there and say it's for her at Beyond Her Odds, and we're going to give it to her. She'll respond and we'll send it back to you. And we will be waiting for you again. Well, maybe we'll not have you here, but Beyond Her Odds show is a multi-season event. So we have both the radio show and the magazine and everything. So we're reaching out to you to, share more about the story, from a different angle right now, so that we can reach more girls with the story. We've come to the end. It's almost our go time, but we've had an amazing time. And like I always say, we'll be back again next week with another amazing guest. Every week is something for you to learn from this show. Every week. Thank you to Ignite Project for sponsoring this show, and to all the team at Beyond the Classroom Foundation for your great work. Until next week, see you again. Same time, same station. Have a great week.